this thing can't get this right, and I figured it out. If I can crack Grok, one of the things that keeps me jazzed about life and just being in this world in general is my curiosity. I mean, there's that saying, curiosity killed the cat. I say bullshit. If you're like a weirdo, curiosity might kill the cat, but I like to soak up as much knowledge as I possibly can, settling into the comfort of knowing I know nothing, and that's fine. It's like, because within me not knowing anything, I have that constant drive to at least just insert something in there, because I know once you stockpile knowledge and information, at some point you're going to regurgitate some of it, and it's going to be there for you. It's like the AI bots and the AI revolution we're moving into. Those are going to destroy us all as far as knowledge and information and all that good stuff. But until they fully take over, we might as well have some fun with it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video today. I'm going to highlight the word misinformation. Misinformation. Now just sit on that word for a second and just think of what comes up within you when I say the word misinformation. You're gonna look back on the last 5 years? Huh? You're gonna go back to the COVID era and you're gonna remember what came up? Okay, the internet is ablaze with misinformation. And that is both a terrifying thing and a good thing, and I'm gonna prove to you why. Here comes the mountain bike. Good morning, what do you got? Cop on, nice bikes, right, Cop? Get some fat tire, looking like e-bikes. Okay, back to misinformation. And real quick before I get into it, misinformation rattles a lot of people. You got leaders who are going nuts. You got podcasters who are backlashing. We've got we've got some production value that I need to love that kind of stuff. That's it. Now I got to go back here, get my crop going back again before I run into. I don't want to run into a tree when I'm doing this. Although that would certainly make you probably laugh your ass off because of the information that you're getting. Okay, misinformation. This is what I'm going to highlight today. I play drums, and one of my favorite drummers is a fellow by the name of Steve Jordan. Now, if you play drummers, 99.9% of you, even if you're just a beginner drummer, you know the name Steve Jordan, and if you don't, you're gonna know it real soon. And if you're not a drummer, and if you're a music fan, you probably even know who Steve Jordan is. And if you don't give a shit about any of the backstory behind music, you just think Taylor Swift does everything, well then, you're not going to give a shit about Steve Jordan. Steve Jordan, I don't even think he ever played with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift might be the one musician that Steve Jordan has never played with. But I might even be wrong about that. I don't know, maybe I should ask Grok or ChatGPT. Speaking of, based on some research I did over a couple of days ago, like I said, I'm getting back into playing drums, so I'm listening to a lot of Steve Jordan. And I'm listening to his grooves, because when that man lays down a groove, I try my best. I'm not gonna, you don't verbatim. That was a sleeping dog right there. They could have leapt out of me and scared the shit out of me. You don't verbatim regurgitate Steve Jordan. You just don't. He's the one and only. He's an original beat maker, and I can only try my best to recreate his master beats. And I would never try to recreate his master bass. That's for a different video. Okay, so I'm bringing up Steve Jordan because I started researching him and I wanted to hear, I did a Grok search. So I went on Grok and I said, name 20, 25 top 40 hits that Steve Jordan played on. And Grok immediately spit out a list of 20, and I'm going to find a way to link this into the video. But I don't want to slip away from the point. The point of this whole thing is, one of the songs that stood out was a song by John Mellencamp, and it's called Cherry Bomb. Now, according to Grok, Steve Jordan played studio drums on John Cougar Mellencamp's Cherry Bomb. Morning. And then I looked deeper into this, and I did then I moved over to ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT told me that Kenny Aronoff, I think his name is, who I think I think he tours with John Mellencamp. ChatGPT said that Kenny Aronoff played studio drums on Cherry Bomb. And so I just keep going down this rabbit hole a little bit more. And then I gave it another command. And then this one came up with Kenneth Babyface Edmonds, I think his name is, Babyface. They said that Babyface played studio drums on John Mellencamp's Cherry Bomb. And so I'm looking at this, and I'm kerfuffled by the AI bots, and I'm saying well, there's only one word to sum up my experience I'm having with this AI. This is misinformation. This thing's spitting out a bunch of misinformation. What's going to happen when this thing fucks up my dental records, or gives me a wrong verdict in the jury? If this thing's spitting out misinformation on something so simple as who played studio drums on John Cougar Mellencamp's Cherry Bomb, I'd have to say, faithfully and respectfully, we're all fucked. Because if this thing can't get this right, and I figured it out, if I can crack Grok and ChatGPT, if I can fluster that system, seriously, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? What's the internet going to do with all this misinformation swirling around? The all-knowing, unfuck-upable AI. I mean, honestly, it took me a search. It took me getting back into drumbeats, something so primitive and primal as drumbeats. That's what it took me to crack the AI code and this narrative of misinformation. Morning. So if you think you can rely on AI to get it right, you're either sadly mistaken or you're just as big of a moron as the AI bots. Shifting down to second gear, I'm gonna go in front of this car because it's letting me go. Making that turn pretty well. So how am I gonna sum this one up? I cracked the AI bots. I took Elon Musk's Grok and basically gave it a suplex. I never took wrestling in high school, although some of my buddies did, and they used to put me in. I've been in headlocks, and I've been in something called the crab. You don't hear about the crab much anymore. The crab is basically when someone puts you in a headlock, and then they grab one of your legs. And depending on the strength of you and the individual who's got you in the crab, you're kind of fucked. You ain't going nowhere. So if you're going to rely on ChatGPT and Grok to do your maneuvering and your wrestling matches for you, I got to say, as Neanderthal and as Luddite as I'm going to sound, you're fucked.